everyone, and welcome to the 226th episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. My name is Benedict. You may know me better as BHL Hudson. Here we talk about movies, TV shows, a bunch of nonsense. With me, as always, is my friend, co-host, and voting day buddy, Frederick.
Indeed.
Amongst other things.
Amongst other things. It seems like the voting day bit is not the main thing we should be talking about.
Perhaps voting day is the reason for the incredible turmoil we went through to get this. If you're watching this pod right now, just know we've done
it's a miracle.
An Odysseus-esque journey. Wish there was a word for that to get to this occasion. Yeah, it's been a rough morning. Do
you wanna lay it on us?
We can get into it. I will say before we do that, today we're doing an up-to-date pod. God, it's that time of the month, but
it's our
in
cycle.
A good way. Yeah, it's that time of the month in parentheses positive. We are talking some news from the past month, and honestly, mostly from the past couple of weeks, which is nice. Thumbnail-wise.
God, it's going to be very topical.
Yeah, we're talking the trailers for Dune 3, Brand New Day. The Moana trailer came out today or yesterday.
The
Moana. That we got some stuff to say about that.
Oh yeah, we got thoughts.
Looks genuinely ass. And then we got some movies to talk about from the past little while. We're talking about the movie War Machine.
Why are we talking about the movie War Machine?
How to Make a Killing, The Bride, and sort of the magnum opus Project Hail Mary. Plus, we might throw in a little Night of the Seven Kingdoms in there. Ooh, plus some Tom Cnews, plus some announcements and such.
God!
Are you ready for that time of the month?
Oh, I've been prepped.
But yeah, there are time codes down below to all of that. Before we get into it, just a little anecdote for the start of the pod. Just again, this
to get this out of your system.
The BHL crash out, which has been a while since we've had. I feel like. I actually, you know what? Not to get too personal, but I feel like lately
I've been a good boy.
I've been a good little piggy. No, I've been. I feel like I've been pretty zen, not crashing out as much as I feel like I used to when like someone would cut me off or something, and I'd like yell obscenities at them for days.
Just in public.
Yeah. This was last week.
Yeah.
But now I feel like I'm generally pretty chill.
You got your little zen garden.
Today tested me.
Today was a rough one.
I woke up. I was feeling great. I was feeling all ready for an up-to-date pod time of the month, and then I get on the train. Normally it takes me like, I don't know, about half an hour to get to the studio. And the train stops at the first stop, and I'm like, we're stranded. And I just hear over the intercom, yeah, we're having some trouble with the brakes.
Yes, the train can't stop.
Yeah, we might kill all of you accidentally. Give us a minute. Then like 10 minutes pass and we get going again. Immediately we stop again. Yeah. And now it smells like burning rubber in the train. And I'm like, I don't like all of this. And then they just get on the intercom. The brakes are still not working.
Yeah. And that smell you're smelling, it's
toxic fumes that will kill you. No, they're like, and if you can smell some burning rubber, if you want to go outside, we totally understand. I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to go outside.
It stopped at a station.
Yeah, we got to another station.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, clearly they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I'm going to get on this complicated ass system of buses that can get me there, which will take an hour.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what, fuck it, we'll do it. And so then I try to get on the first bus, and that guy's late, and then, that fucks the entire domino effect of the rest of the buses. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean here, but should there maybe be, like,
a death penalty if you're a bus driver who's a few minutes late?
Yeah. Should I maybe vote today for the candidate who will kick all bus drivers into a volcano, maybe? No, kidding, of course. But,
although if that candidate exists.
Yeah, although maybe hit me up if it's not too late. But, if you're like of a certain age, this is contributing to the lore of the old people hate.
What do you mean the lore? It's just a fact. If you're of a certain age, you should have your driver's license rescinded.
Oh, I'm sorry. This dude pulls up 5 minutes late when my connecting bus is like, you have 3 minutes to get it.
Yeah.
And it's an older gentleman, and he's just sitting there, and then we like all get on the bus, and he just kind of just sits there just for a bit, just fuck it, I guess, dreaming of prunes or whatever old people do.
Dreaming of his bunions.
And I would never do this because I'm too cowardly, but there was a moment where I considered like, are we gonna drive sometime soon? I was like, come on, bro.
Walk up and just, hello?
Yeah, anyone home, Papa? Excuse me, Mr. Biden, thought you retired?
But I love old people.
Yeah. So anyway, and then I missed the second bus, and it's a whole deep thing. But we made it in the end.
Yeah.
Thank God, I don't want to crash out. And I'm feeling zen again.
Okay,
in
very
case you
good.
couldn't tell.
Yo, Mr. Biden.
Yeah, I want to kick you into a volcano, but other than that, I feel great.
But I'm feeling very zen right now.
But I will say, if as has happened before on this pod, if someone uninvitedly enters the room next to us and starts making noise,
they're getting kneed in the face.
I will be crashing out. It's a fact. It'll happen. I'm just.
It's a
warning
very
you.
busy day in this building.
Well, it is voting day,
It's
so
gonna.
yeah. And not that we
We'll
work
see.
at a community building or anything, but
Not
there
that, not that you know where we're voting today.
But there might be people voting in this exact building, so that could be a problem. They might be voting in this actual room while we're
They might be,
talking.
they're beyond the camera.
Yeah, they're all cheering us on. They're voting for us.
They're voting for the volcano bus driver guy.
A very popular doctrine. But you said that you've also had a kind of cooked morning.
No, it wasn't even. I mean, not to mog on you.
I had like the best morning. My bus came 2 minutes early, actually.
God, I made every bus. No, it was just a strange occurrence that happened, and I feel like I could talk to you about this on the pod because I believe he has been mentioned, weirdly enough.
Okay.
But I was biking here before you called me to say that that the trains were cooked.
Yeah.
And this is no fault of my own, but I almost killed a celebrity on the way here.
Yo.
So,
Did you run into Mads Mikkelsen?
I wish.
Or even better, Troels Poulsen.
Who is Troels Poulsen?
What?
What?
You forgot? He's the prime minister candidate.
Oh, really?
Going against Mette. Like the other guy. He's like the other. You voted.
You can tell I did not vote for this dude.
Bro should not be allowed to vote. Who's Troels Poulsen?
I'm all Lars Løkke, even though he's not even running. Anyways.
Anyway, sorry.
And then I'm biking kind of like through this parking space, or like not parking space, but like this parking area on the bike lane, and then a dude walks out in front of me on his cell phone, completely unaware, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to swerve. And I look up, and it's none other than Haskeg.
No fucking
Mr.
way.
Beard.
Mr. Beard?
God, of our childhood fame, the guy who like had some like
Kid
shows about like counting numbers.
Yeah,
something like that.
if you're not Danish, which hopefully none of you are, it's a
Yeah.
cursed position to be in, but it's like a Sesame Street style Danish kid show about a guy, Haskeg, Mr. Beard.
Yeah.
And he would like go on adventures where numbers would appear around him.
Exactly.
And he'd teach you how to count.
Crazy schizophrenic fever dream that he went on.
His show was called Skæg med tal,
Yeah.
which was like
Beard
beard
with
with numbers,
numbers.
but also skæg means like fun as well.
Yeah,
So it was
exactly.
like
It's a fun play.
It
It's
was
not,
pretty clever.
It's not just insane.
Oh my God,
So
Haskeg.
I was
You
like
almost killed Haskeg.
I almost killed Haskeg.
a national treasure.
Exactly. And dude was looking, man, did he have that shit on? Like dressed fully in black. Like
I thought you were gonna say he looked like he was in the Haskeg costume.
oh no, I wish. But like, he's got like insane twirl stash and like beard down to here.
Holy fuck.
And I almost killed him. So I had to
That's
like do
crazy.
a swerve, but it was his fault.
Yeah, I mean, Haskeg kind of like get your shit together. Like,
Yeah,
watch where you're
Haskeg,
going.
what's happening
You're
there?
like an inspiration to the youth, but you can't like get off your phone in public or whatever. That's kind of bad.
What's happening?
Also, Haskeg dressed in like full John Wick cosplay is kind of like
it was genuinely full John Wick. He
Kinda
looked like
fucking crazy.
John Skeg.
Skeg. Wow. Yeah, that's the equivalent of like almost killing Big Bird or something in the street. That's crazy.
Exactly.
He's still alive also? I mean, not...
Haskeg's still kicking.
Or is it the same Haskeg? I just feel like because he was like was he not like a middle-aged man when we were kids and now he's...
I mean, I think he's maybe like in his late 50s or something now.
It's the same Skeg though. Like it's the same guy.
It's
like
the same
they
guy.
didn't do
I mean,
like a James Bond.
I don't think they've got like multiple Haskegs. That'd be super
It's a
cursed.
Jim Carrey clone situation. Imagine you walk into like a TV studio and there's 20 Haskegs.
They are all looking perfect.
They're genuinely identical. Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah. So kind of the complete opposite of your morning.
Yeah, I guess whimsical and fun. Did he say anything?
No, he just kind of like looked up like in surprise. I was like,
Yeah. Haskeg.
Haskeg. So, Haskeg, wonderful to meet you.
Yeah, but how about you count like the number of bikes coming for your fucking cranium next time instead of texting people?
Beard with numbers, that one, bro.
God, that is wow, what a crazy day we've had.
Exactly.
This is,
and it's only 11 a.m.
yeah, we've still got a whole pod to do. Well, speaking of craziness, let's talk about some movie trailers. The
God,
craziest invention of man.
The craziest things to happen ever.
And we got some fucking bangers, I have to say. We can start out with the least banger. Although, pod-wise,
Podwise, still banger.
still a banger. The trailer for In the Gray.
In the Gray. Honestly,
More like the Haskeg Beard story.
God, so true.
Bro's hella old.
Bro's getting up there. Maybe was Heskeg your bus driver?
Maybe. They were both ancient. But yeah, In the Gray, the new Guy Ritchie movie.
Honestly, looks kind of fun.
Looks pretty nutty, I have to say.
And it's got Gyllenhaal?
Gyllenhaal and Cavill.
Come on. A Cavill in a Guy Ritchie film, always fantastic. Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
Man from U.N.C.L.E., yeah. I mean, yeah.
Is that the only one he's been in?
No, of course. It was in your favorite movie, the Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Oh, that's also a Guy Ritchie movie. It's true.
Course,
yeah, exactly. The Ritchie Cavill, beautiful combination.
We like to see it. I do think we've talked about this, and we may have a Guy Ritchie episode coming at some point.
Ooh, who knows?
But we've talked about like the Guy Ritchie spectrum of like slop garbage, I want money, nom nom nom.
The slobby garb.
Yeah, to peak.
To like the gentleman kind of vibe.
And I would say, having not seen like Ungentlemanly Warfare, but that felt, slightly in the middle, more towards the gentleman vibe.
I think so.
And I feel like this is there as well. Like, it's not, this doesn't look like this, the gentleman snatch, that kind of thing. The Snatch. My favorite movie.
I looked at this and it didn't look like The Snatch.
But it looks like miles ahead of, the Wrath of Man.
Yeah, Wrath of Man comes out. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it seems very much like, as you said, like the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Like, that's the exact vibe it gives, but just modern, I guess.
Yeah, and look, I mean, Guy Ritchie, as we'll talk about in that episode maybe, like, he does, at this point, he is kind of just, like, making the same movie. Like, this could just be any of his movies, but
it looks like the most Guy Ritchie movie of all time.
Yeah, but in a nice way. Like, again,
it's not in a way that I'm mad at.
It's not Fountain of Youth or whatever. It looks like kind of fun. And plus, I feel like Gyllenhaal and Cavill are two of our like kind of nutty goats.
Yeah, pod nutty goats. It's like the Nutty Putty Cave.
God, I just did a deep dive on that the other night.
A deep dive.
Nice. Dang. Sorry, rest in peace, that guy though.
Yeah, sorry that you died in that cave.
Super grim. Yeah, couldn't be me. That actually, low-key, that. I hate to tell you, that seems like something you would do. Not necessarily the Nutty Putty thing.
Die in the Nutty Putty cave?
Like, just
what a compliment.
like cave diving in like stupidly small spaces.
No,
that seems like something you'd get into.
Because I don't think, I am very offended. No, I don't think I've got claustrophobia, but I genuinely think that one of like my worst fears would be to be put in like a straitjacket. And I feel like Nutty Putty cave style would feel a lot like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not about that life.
Okay.
Some cave exploration, totally fine with, but like the kind of crawling into spaces, fuck that.
Hell no. No, that's a very, very silly decision. Although again, rest in peace, that guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Nutty Putty cave guy.
Yeah. Anyway, In the Gray.
In the Gray. How do we get to Nutty Putty cave?
Looks pretty good.
Pretty good. I'm excited. Think it's gonna be like a fun Guy Ritchie time. Nothing special though.
3.5 kind of movie.
Exactly.
Very good. On the other end of the spectrum, though, a movie that I think could be maybe a 5.
Oh,
Dune 3.
Dune 3.
Or Done 3 with the 3 as the E.
Ooh, very nice.
They missed a trick there.
Or, God, marketing team, hire this man. Yeah. Thrune. Not quite as good as Tune. But close. Thrune. What are we thinking? Looks kind of awesome.
Looks kind of extremely fucking peak.
Can't even lie. Like, especially like coming off the hype of the first, or not the second one.
Yeah.
God, does it look good.
Well, because I have a little bit of a funny story, because off the hype of the trailer, the other night, I was like, you know what? Because I've been meaning to rewatch Dune and Dune 2 and so I was like, fuck it, I'll watch Dune. And I was like, you know what? I saw it back in 2021, and I thought it was boring and kind of mid, and I was like, you know what? I probably have a more of appreciation. I've seen Dune 2. Man, I got 40 minutes in.
And you turned that shit off. Really?
That shit was so boring, bro. I'm sorry. It's really interesting because Dune 2, I really do think is like fucking super.
Is that a 5-star movie?
It's like a 4.5. It's like one of the best movies of the past 10 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, and now I'm genuinely like invested in these characters in this world. And somehow the first 40 minutes of Dune got me uninvested in them. I was like, it's just people naming planets and tribes.
Oscar Isaac being kind of boring.
It's just, I feel almost like insulted by it because it's
I watched Dune 1 and got insulted by it.
It's like it's insisting that I care about this by giving me no reason. All these characters are boring as shit, and they're all like, there's no soul to it. And again, it's just weird because Dune 2, I feel like, has tons of excitement and character and fun and
interesting,
like epic quality. And anyway, point being, Dune 3 looks a lot more Dune 2 than it does Dune 1.
But do you not think that it needs to build this kind of foundational thing in Dune 1? Like, do you not think that Dune 2 is maybe better because it got all the boring schlop out the way in the first one?
Yeah, I guess, but I think your movie should not be a fucking homework assignment. Like, then you maybe
true.
make a good movie. Well, here's a big idea for you, Denis Villeneuve.
Take
notes, bro.
Here's a big idea for you.
First of all, you didn't call it
Thrune.
Thrune.
Yeah. Thrune, gone out the window there.
And make Dune 1 not cow poo. That could be huge. No, like, it's probably, I might
Make it
finish
not
it.
poon.
Poon.
Poon. The snatch.
Great podcast. Poon. Write that down. I might finish it, and I think honestly it would still be like a 3-star movie because it's still, you know, it has the scale and the visuals and everything.
Yeah.
But not even like visuals, like good, just like it's well shot, but it's not even. It's all gray. It's all fucking boring.
Yeah, but I think also that movie specifically is one that's going to be better in the cinema. Don't you think?
But I saw it in the cinema and I felt the exact same way.
You don't feel like it's been worsened by watching it on the smaller screen?
No. Anyway, point being though, I wanted to come in hype here because Dune 3, shit looks fucking amazing.
It looks so good.
I love and especially I kind of got to respect, you know, Timothy coming off of a big L, coming back with some fire.
Come back with some sauce.
Well, man, the Dune chant, that shit goes pretty hard.
It looks so cool. And also, Duncan Idaho back? My most hyped character.
The iconic character, Duncan Idaho.
What do we think is Momoa? Is it a flashback? Is he alive? I asked you this in the cinema when we saw the trailer.
I was genuinely kind of perplexed. Like, why do you care about? Why are you talking about this like Iron Man coming back or something? Like Duncan Idaho, they use a clone maybe, or the whole of Project Hail Mary. You're like throwing out theory. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Is it a brother?
As everything's happening with Rocky, what about? But Duncan Idaho.
I don't know. I would assume. Probably fucking fat Skarsgård put him in a vat of like oil or whatever he does, and he came out alive.
Vat of fat.
Yeah, vat of fat. He put him in his folds or whatever. But
it's been pickling in Skarsgård's folds for a while.
Actually, did Skarsgård die in the last one?
I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, he's been pickling in the Christopher Walken wrinkle holes or whatever. I don't know.
Pound for pound, the worst sentence.
But I think it has the same epic quality as Dune 2. I love. The fucking some of these battle scenes, they look you don't get movies. I had to be that guy, but like you don't get movies like this very often. And the new cast members, Anya Taylor-Joy was very briefly in the last one, but she's doing a thing.
Well, was she playing his sister or something?
Something like that, I think.
Yeah. The thing is, I really like the Dune movies, especially the second one, but I just don't really remember a lot of what's actually been happening.
I remember in the second one when they have the big fight at the end. That was fucking awesome.
I remember like scenes, but like the overarching story and stuff like that. Yeah, I got no clue. I need to do a little rewatch, not of both movies, but just like a little recap or something like that. Because what even is Chalamet's deal in that? I don't even remember.
I think he's like Jesus, but maybe evil or something. Evil Jesus, something like that. Because he's again, the 40 minutes I saw of it, they sure talked a lot about the Bene Gesserit, and he's the Messiah, the Fremen who are Arrakis who want the oh my god, fucking shut the fuck up.
That's quite enough, Javier.
Javier's not even in the first one.
Is he not? He's towards the end of the first one.
Maybe he pops up, but Javier's like super peak in the second one. I think, is that the key? Is Javier the key to Dune being like a watchable
the
movie?
more Javier, the better a movie.
Fact, I think. That's
true.
Yeah.
True.
But I think it looks great. I'm excited for Pattinson in some kind of villain role. Bro's looking very, can I just say, Bettany maxing? Is that just me?
Kind of
I thought he was Bettany for a second.
God, an insult to both of them somehow.
I was like, why would they reveal
he's kind of
Bettany?
gotten his eyebrows kind of semi-removed? And that's the Bettany way. Does Bettany have eyebrows?
Certainly not.
It's in his contract.
They wouldn't let him. But yeah, Dune 3, I'm super excited for.
Same.
And I have to say, man, Doomsday, Dune 3, the same release date.
Doomsday.
It's an insane fucking.
It's gonna be
a crazy day.
It's gonna be a great day for cinema.
Yeah.
When is it they come out?
December 17th, I think. I think I'm gonna hit. Oh, do you hit Dune first?
I think you hit Dune first.
Yeah, actually, you wanna.
I feel like you end on the hype of Doomsday.
Yeah, because Doomsday is gonna be more like adrenaline.
Yeah.
And Dune 3 is gonna be more like sort of deep and.
Exactly.
And they've said it's very. I keep hearing people involved with it describe it as an eerie movie. I don't know what that means.
What, like Dune?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But it's like it's spooky in some weird way, I guess. I don't know. And
it's a little horror movie we get in.
Chalamet's described his performance as Brando inspired.
Okay.
Which I don't, as long as
As long as he doesn't start doing all his Marty Supreme bullshit
Well, yeah,
again.
if he's like, and it is Brando-esque.
And by the way, we just CGI'd Brando onto me.
Yeah. But anyway, Dune 3, I'm super excited.
Same.
Looks fucking awesome.
Same.
What did you think of the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer?
I had mixed feelings a little bit. I mean, I'm excited overall.
Get him, boys.
Rush him. No, like, I don't know. I think the mixed feelings largely come from the fact that it's been so long since the last Spider-Man movie. I feel like I've kind of lost a little bit of, and also I haven't watched a lot of MCU stuff lately. I just lost a little bit of interest in the whole thing, because like when I remember at the end of the latest Spider-Man movie where he like, you know, everyone forgets who he is and stuff like that. I was like, no.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of like, so I was like very kind of like, oh, how are they gonna tie this back in? Like, is Ned just gonna steal his girl? What's that? Which it seems like it.
Well, I mean, have you seen Ned Leeds fucking fits?
Yeah. Could you not fall for that, man? How could you not fall for
And
that?
also,
man?
have you seen his fucking haircut?
Yeah, it's just not.
Bro, what's going on,
What
man?
what I keep sending these to you on Instagram as well, but I love the Ned CEO of sex headlines.
But also, as the CEO of Sex, bro looked way better bald.
It's true.
What happened?
I don't, because it's so obviously a wig, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
I think so.
You'd
Surely.
hope it is. If it's not, I'd be like more ashamed if I was him. But
Yeah, exactly. That's your real hair, and you let that stay that way. But so like, I'm excited for the movie. I think it seems like they're doing it in an interesting way where it's not just like, you know, they fix it immediately and go back to how it was. But
okay, but besides like the everyone's forgotten Peter Parker, other stuff you're not excited about? You know, the Punisher.
Punisher, I'm very excited about.
Ruffalo.
The team up of Punisher and Spider-Man, I'm very excited about. As we've talked about before, I do think that it could go either very right or very wrong about, like, you know, putting these Marvel Netflix characters into the bigger movies. Because again, like, the Punisher is so like gritty and kind of like dark, and how is he going to be with this quippy Spider-Man, you know?
Yeah, well, yeah, because they've sort of made him more of like he's like the older tough guy, and Peter's like the fun young guy, and it is a little weird, like when you've seen him, you know, dragging a guy's face across glass.
Exactly. When you saw what he did to Billy Russo.
Brutalizing people, and then at the end of Punisher season 2 when he shoots him just coldly, that was such a cool ending. But anyway, that being said though,
I'm so excited.
I don't think it's like they're bringing fucking, I don't know, what's like a super dark, like a Lars von Trier movie into the MCU. Like,
they're not putting Spider-Man in Fiston.
that would be
Imagine that.
a little rough. I was watching some Von Trier. I was watching Dogville yesterday, and it's just in Von Trier fashion. It's like first hour is, you know, quite wholesome and nice, and then it's like, what if they just like raped the main character? And I was like, oh, gotcha, okay.
But then put Spider-Man in there, and you got Kino.
Yeah, that's how you improve the movie Dogville. Throw Spider-Man in there. I mean, I think it'll be fun to see them team up. I think it'll be fun, you know, Ruffalo being there. That'll be a good time. It looks like he's fighting the Hand from Daredevil. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, true.
Him versus ninjas. I'm okay with that.
Exactly. But again, like, I feel like Spider-Man is just gonna like destroy them.
I mean, to be fair, if the Defenders could beat up the Hand pretty easily.
I believe Spider-Man could kill all the Defenders quite easily.
Spider-Man could make Iron Fist himself if he wanted to. Like, yeah. I know that's a very good point.
Web him as he's trying to punch him, just
yeah, like the Hand got beat up by like Elektra or whatever, you know what I mean? Like
come
interesting.
on, bro.
But
and actually Charlie Cox. Like, I love Charlie Cox and Daredevil, but like if you put Daredevil against Spider-Man,
shit's not gonna
what's
go
happening,
well.
bro?
But there's also an element he's like turning into a human spider, maybe.
Yeah, well,
his eyes are weird. And he's making the webs.
He's mutating. He's kind of going full McGuire mode.
Yeah, so it does. To be fair, I kind of appreciate about the trailer. Like, we'll talk about with Project Hail Mary, where I feel like the trailer just like showed the plot. Like, this is first act, second act, third act. Whereas here, I don't know what the fuck's
You don't know
going
what's
on.
gonna happen. That's fair.
I don't even know who like the main villain is, because you got like Scorpion in there, and you got
maybe it's Ruffalo.
Might be Ruffalo. But yeah, honestly, I'm quite excited by, like, you know, the depressed Peter Parker stuff. Yeah. That's kind of interesting. I like everyone's forgotten him and he's getting cucked or whatever. That's kind of fun.
Exactly.
I'm a really big fan of that plot line. That's actually
so why I'm excited for a Spider-Man movie. It's the Ned cucking Peter arc.
Yeah, they responded to my comments. That's really nice. But I think honestly for me, it's mostly just, I think visually some of it looks like kind of
does look a little dookie.
But yeah, some of the green screen, some of the CGI, it's like
it kind of gives Captain America. I mean, I know that wasn't like a CGI issue. It was just like kind of a dorky suit, but like kind of gives a little bit of Captain America in the first Avengers movie. Though kind of like how colorful it is, and then kind of like the I think at least it looks a little out of place.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's mostly just like the shot compositions. Like that at the end when they have this montage of like shots, like they look like if you're, I haven't played the game, but like if you're loading up the game, it'd be like the screenshot that comes up as the loading bar's there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I do feel like, I don't want to say people are like easily impressed, but I've seen like some reels that are like, bro, what is this green screen? And all the comments are like, people will hate on anything. I'm like, this looks like genuinely like dog shit. I don't know, like
God, people these days.
I don't know, I feel like this isn't hating on anything, but some of it looks cool though. Overall, I'm excited.
I'm also excited, and as you said, like I am excited for the kind of like darker, more depressed Peter Parker and cucked Peter Parker, because I do think that in some of the last Spider-Man movies, I think one of the things that maybe took me out a little bit was how just jolly and easygoing he was a lot of the time.
Yeah. So and he has sort of had everything handed to him by
exactly. So let's see your girl get stolen by the CEO of sex. See what happens.
Unlucky little bro.
You ain't getting her back.
He comes for all of us. In a way.
In a way.
And then last trailer here came out last night. Man, the Moana trailer. Speaking of things that look like dog shit visually.
Genuinely like, what the fuck?
Crime against humanity. First of all, Dwayne in a wig.
But also like...
And he's old.
He's old, but also this might be a weird thing to say, but he looks like so huge. Is it a suit he's wearing, do you think? Because I feel like, having seen some pictures of Dwayne lately, like he's still buff as fuck, but you know, he's gotten...
Well, he went skinny mode for that like lizard movie or whatever. Do you remember this?
Yeah, but I feel like he looks like, I don't know if it's the tattoos that do something as well, but like he looks genuinely humongous in this.
Interesting. I was gonna complain he doesn't look big enough.
Well, he doesn't look like cartoon Maui.
Well, he doesn't look like Maui. This is like, it looks... this is not original. Every comment says this. It looks like an SNL skit. Like
it does a little bit.
The hair looks wrong.
Well, it's like if you're gonna give Dwayne hair, at least make it look like his hairline doesn't start like back here. You know?
No, the hair looks bad, and like I don't know much about hair, but it looks like too flat. I want to say. Like I feel like it needs more bounce to it.
His hair is not very voluminous.
But just
like, what's going on?
I think he's not a good choice for if you were gonna do a live action Maui. I don't think he's a good choice for it. I don't. No.
Who would you have as live action Maui?
Just like a guy who looks more like Maui, like a big, Hawaiian guy or whatever. Like, because Dwayne, he's just so obviously not that character. Like his face is too old. Like no, I know he's aged wonderfully or whatever, but like he looks too old.
How old is Dwayne?
At least 80. I don't know.
He's bus driving age.
The Rock age. 53.
53. Yeah,
okay, but
that's 40 years too old for Maui.
And he's way too like small. Like he needs to be, cartoonishly. I don't know. I don't give a shit, but it looks just lame and bad.
Interesting.
And
I don't hate Dwayne as a Maui choice, just because I feel like Maui is like whenever you're watching the animated Moana, I just can't get it out of my head that the fact that that's Dwayne.
No, but he's good for the voice. But I mean, they don't cast fucking. If they made a live-action Zootopia, would they dress up Jason Bateman? That would be a great idea.
They really fucking would.
If they put Jason Bateman in a furry suit, I'd really like it. But I don't know. Beyond that, it just, like 90% of it just looks like normal Disney slop live-action movie. But it just looks...
It looks bad. It looks bad, and also like some of the it feels like they're very much doing like almost the exact same movie, just live action.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of... At least this might just be in the trailer and the trailer's fault, but some of the dialogue is actually like awful. They're are you ready to go save the world?
Yeah.
If you are a partner or some shit like that. I'm like, Dwayne wouldn't say that.
No, it was weird because I was like, I assume trailers do this sometimes where they cut together awkwardly to make some trailer line. But I was also like, this is like, I've already seen this movie.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't have to, like, there are enough normal lines in it that are fun for a trailer that you don't need to do like are you ready to save the world? And then like, let's go. Also, and I know we discussed this and I'm not trying to get us back in hot water that we were never in.
Please. There's a whole lot of Tihu.
There's too much Chihu in this trailer.
There's so unbelievably many Tihus.
We've been made aware is an actual island phrase. And that's great. We're not being culturally insensitive.
But Dwayne was born in like Ohio.
That's not the argument I'm making.
So can he even yell Tihu?
It's not his word. No, but it's not his word. But you can't spam it. He says it. I counted. He does it 4 times. He does Tihu 4 times.
He does, and I believe
it's too many.
It's way too many.
He did it borderline like fuck the recording stuff.
It's Tihu many.
Wait, say that for.
Wait, okay, well, I'll write it back.
Okay, do it again.
Okay, so I'll say, it's T-Who many. But I thought you were writing T-Who a bunch of times.
T-Who. But yeah, I don't know. He says it like more times in this trailer than I feel like he's ever said in his entire life. Get out of here.
Exactly.
No, it just looks like visually stinky and like conceptually. These live action remakes are cursed. Plus, it's like a recent movie. It's 10 years ago. The sequel came out like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's like, why is this being made?
Supremely cringe.
Do you think this was made around the fact that they wanted Dwayne for Maui? And so they're like, we can't wait too long because Dwayne's going to shrinkle and die.
All the steroid use is going to catch up and he's going to like turn into Pennywise from the end of It 2 where he's like a little mush baby.
Raisin mush baby?
I don't know. I think it was made out of a need for money, I guess. Like I don't think they really...
A need for T-Who.
I think there was a T-Who quota they wanted to meet.
And boy, did they meet it.
Yeah, and they're still 20 short, I guess. But
God.
I don't know. Also, like, the animals, they've clearly, like, they're trying now to make the live-action animals more cartoonish.
Yeah.
But it now just looks kind of, like, cursed. Like, it just looks like...
Yeah, Dwayne is like a hammerhead shark?
Yeah, weird, like, AI-looking... Like, I'm aware that all of our feeds have been oversaturated with AI, so maybe it's, like, on the brain. But, like, Brand New Day and also this just has AI... There's shots that have AI vibes to them.
Yeah.
Looks bad. I don't give a shit about the Moana movies. So I'm not
neither,
like, pressed, but
yeah. But at the
bad.
same time, it is Dwayne in full Maui. So
we'll
I'm kind of
see
like,
it.
I kind of want to go watch it.
We'll watch it. But and I mean, like, I think whoever they got from Moana, she seems like she can sing and she looks like Moana. That's fine. Like the island stuff, it looks vaguely colorful and nice or whatever.
Vaguely
but like
islandy.
vaguely island-like, I guess. But just all the other, even at the end when they're doing the big action scene with the volcano mountain or whatever, I'm like. But I've seen this and it looked the same. It's not even like it looks different.
Because it is such like insane stuff they're doing. They're gonna have to do a lot of CGI, and the CGI or like the animation in Moana, the cartoon, is already so good.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you're almost seeing the same shit.
No, the big crab guy. It's like this just looks like a weird AI YouTube short of like what if Moana live action? It was like
I think the big crab guy is also Dwayne's nickname.
Yeah. But I just like it's a good point because. You could make an argument with something like more of the 2D animated stuff, like The Jungle Book or something.
Exactly.
It's like, this is a new adaptation.
Yeah.
But this was like, if most of this movie is CGI and that movie was, CGI cartoon, you're pretty fucking close.
It's very similar.
Yeah. So anyway,
especially like all the water stuff that happens, like that, we're not gonna be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, and that was also like it just looked better. Like Anyway, cringe, bad.
But T-Who Dwayne.
But T-Who indeed. Yeah, T-Who to that, sir.
Dwayne the T-Who Johnson.
T-Who. I was going in the direction of like Dwahitu or something, but it wasn't gonna get there. So I'm glad you saved me.
Yeah, I got you. Pulled you out of that.
That all said, those are the newsums and such. The Gavin newsums.
God, my president.
Yeah, no, thank you. We move on to reviews and such.
Let's do it.
I think we can sort of, not speed round, but we can go a little quickly over some of these first few, and then I say we dive into Project Hail Mary.
Yeah, and then we dive into War Machine.
Yeah, well, do you want to talk about the movie War Machine?
Yes. Have you seen War Machine?
I've not watched War Machine.
Yeah,
I don't intend to.
I don't recommend it. I mean, it's the most like standard army movie of all time for the first like half of it.
Okay.
And then it turns into kind of bad alien invasion schlop.
Oh, really? It's like an alien movie.
That I didn't realize either, but it's Alien. It's basically Alan Richardson.
Yeah.
Who's a cool, tough military guy.
Yeah, you see him beating up that guy.
Exactly.
I mean,
oh yeah.
The video. Yeah.
I did see that. I don't know what that's all about, but there is that.
Yeah,
video.
another context, but it was sort of.
It was kind of cursed.
A little weird, yeah. Also, why were they in this like back rooms like suburban location?
Yeah,
like,
why were there just two kids on like the scooters? Like
it looked real weird. Yeah,
it looked very strange.
But anyway,
Anyways, more stuff will probably come out about that.
Yeah,
but he's kind of like an army guy who goes through some loss, and then he made a promise and he's gonna join the Ranger Regiment or something like that, and like there's like a training sequence, and he's like goated, but he's also got some demons. Very standard.
Tracks.
But then as that's all playing out, then there's kind of like cuts to like the news where it's like, oh, there's an asteroid circling Earth, and it's like not really paid attention. Then it ends with them being in a or doesn't end, but like it leads to them being in this like outdoor training kind of like simulation, and then suddenly a meteor hits as they're out in the woods, or like they think it's something that the military training facility is doing, and then they look, and then it's this like humongous metal killing machine that just kills everyone.
And the war machine, perhaps.
Well,
or is Richardson the war machine?
I genuinely do think that it ends with Richardson being called the war machine. It ends with a very, it's almost Fantastic Four-esque, where it goes, what's his name? No one answers, and then war machine. So I was like,
damn.
It's
kind of hard.
I was kind of hard. It was, but yeah, it's like fine army stuff to begin with, and then it becomes kind of goofy, and there's some genuinely terrible dialogue because it is kind of like a not down to earth, but like a bit more gritty kind of war movie to begin with, or war training movie, and then Richardson has some of the goofiest one-liners ever in cinema, and it's like he's like fighting it with some like crane. He's like, eat pebbles or something like that. I'm like, come on,
eat pebbles.
What are we doing, Richardson?
Again, kind of hard. But
so I just whatever movie. Not like the worst movie I've ever seen, but Jenny, I cannot recommend it at all.
If we're doing a 1v1 War Machine versus The Rip, if we're doing a slop off, unrelated to the movies,
the dream.
What would you prefer?
I think I was more disappointed by The Rip. But I think The Rip is probably a slightly better movie, but not by a whole lot, I don't think. I think I gave The Rip 3 or 2.5 stars, and I gave this 2.5 stars. It's very kind of like generic Richardson slop. Still,
again, embarrassing for Affleck and Damon that they're not that much further ahead.
Exactly, from the War Machine.
Eating pebbles. No, fair enough. I will not watch it.
Nah, that's fair.
Maybe Papa Hudson will be intrigued.
It does seem like a movie Papa Hudson would maybe enjoy.
Well, I did go see the movie How to Make a Killing.
Oh, I really want to go watch this.
Which I have to say, quite a Woody core movie.
God, I think I might be watching this later this week.
Ooh, I think you'll really enjoy it. Because we have Glenn Powell, who is super nutty. I like the Powell man.
I'm a huge fan of the Powell man.
I think the Powell man. War Machine-esque title.
What's his name? You don't know? Powell man.
I think he's very good at playing like, because I feel like this is like the third movie he's been in where he's like a guy who kills people, but he's sort of like charming about it. Like Hitman, this, and there was some other thing that he was in that was sort of similar. But because I thought
Man?
Yeah, The Running Man. That's kind of similar. Because at the start, when I first saw him, I think I first saw him in Top Gun Maverick. I was like, okay, this is like the smarmy douche guy. But he's won me over a bit.
He's very charming. He needs to play the schmarmy douche guy in Top Gun, but here he holds his own.
Yeah, well, he's and it's a fun premise for a movie. It's I think it's based on maybe a book, but it's like he's the seventh in line to a huge inheritance.
Okay, and then he decides to go kill everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
The inheritance being that of Ed Harris. Not even kidding. It's a Harris performance. There's a de-aged Harris in it.
There's
very
de-aged
briefly.
Harris?
He's in shadow, so you can't really tell. But
is that very cursed, or does he have that shit on?
It's still pretty cursed. Yeah, okay, even in shadow, I was not a fan.
Is it more cursed than just normal Ed Harris?
Almost impossible. But yeah, and that's the thing about the movie is that the first like 2/3 of it, when it's doing this premise, quite a lot of fun, and then it sort of gets more into, and I won't like spoil it too much, but it gets more into kind of plot stuff that I'm like, this is not as compelling. And also, I have to say this, I feel really bad about this, and I had a lengthy discussion about this with Lele after the film who I saw it with. I feel bad about Margaret Qualley. Because I want to like her, and I think she's good at acting, and I think she's...
so it's not just in the movie, but in general.
In general, yeah. But consistently, what I see her in, either I don't like the movie, or like her character is the worst part. And not necessarily her acting, but like the substance. I did not like the substance for reasons we can talk about some other time.
Okay.
Driveway Dolls, terrible movie, and she's like... what they gave her to work with is horrible. It's like the most annoying character. And in this... she's like good at acting, but like her character is the worst part of the film.
Is it like badly written character, or
it is? It's just like it's awkwardly placed with the rest of the movie, and then because it's very obvious, it's like, okay, well, this is the thing that's gonna come back later, and then it just like does come back, and it's not necessarily the character sucks, but it's just like the part of the film that was least interesting. And I was just like, I just kind of feel bad. I'm like, who's your agent? Because like I feel like
Who's booking these gigs for you?
you could be like
You could be a very good actress.
Yeah, you could just be like one of my favorite actresses, but I just consistently am like unhappy with what's happening around her.
Unhappy with you.
Yeah, step it up, please. But in general, a very fun movie.
Okay.
I think you'll enjoy.
Yeah.
There's some nutty kills and some nutty little cameos from like, I don't know, like Gabe from The Office is there briefly.
Okay.
He's pretty fun.
Ed Harris happens to be
Ed
there.
Harris does make an appearance. It's good.
Well, so again, not to spoil too much here, but so is Powell just kind of like a bad guy who decides to kill everyone, or is there like kind of some good reason behind it?
Well, it's one of those like, you know, anti-hero where technically, you know, he's murdering people, which is bad, but also like the movie presents as like all these people are assholes and he needs the money for this and that, and so it's sort of, it's more of like it's like it's not good that he's doing it, but it's a likable kind of like
it's
you're
likable.
around for the adventure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's fun, and it's like it doesn't take itself very seriously. It's sort of like a goofy movie.
Does it have Hitman kind of like energy?
Yeah, I would say so. I think Hitman was better, but it's very enjoyable. I think you'll very much enjoy. I think it's a good movie for you.
I'm very, very excited to go watch it.
And then briefly, I can talk about The Bride, which I saw.
Please.
Gyllenhaal cinema.
Yeah.
But the other Gyllenhaal, although the OG Gyllenhaal is also in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he has a little cameo, which is
very
fun.
nice.
He's pretty nutty. He plays like an old-timey movie star, and he does it well.
Nice.
Yeah, The Bride, I don't know. I don't know if I caught flack for this, but I feel like people like it less than I did.
Oh.
This feels to me a bit... Do you remember the movie Emilia Perez?
I do.
Did you see Emilia Perez?
I did not watch it, but I saw some scenes and I saw the song at the Oscars.
Yes, yeah. Because I saw Emilia Perez like before it was like a thing at all.
Okay. You were the day one.
I was an OG Emilia Perez fan, not something to be proud of. But I think it's interesting just because we live in this culture where like I see like a billion reviews of a movie before I even see it. So like to go into something completely fresh is interesting.
Yeah, you had no clue what to expect. What's The Bride about?
Well, let me finish the thing real quick. But with Emilia Perez, I was like, I watched it because it had sort of like awards buzz. And when I watched it, I was like, I don't think this is as good as people are saying. This is kind of weird. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of sort of a 3-star. And then it became like a thing and everyone fucking despised it. And with this, I saw it before like anyone had seen it. And I was like, I don't think this is like it's kind of interesting, but I don't think it's very good. And then it came out and like everyone hated it. So I think I'm like kind of more positive on it than most people. But it's a Bride of Frankenstein
The Bride of
retelling.
Okay.
But where it's like the framing device is Mary Shelley, author of Frankenstein, is like narrating. She's like talking to the camera.
Okay.
But then she breaks into the movie and she takes control of this woman who becomes the Bride of Frankenstein.
Okay.
And then Christian Bale is Frankenstein's monster. And they go on like a Bonnie and Clyde adventure. It's
interesting. I mean, it sounds unique.
It's very unique. The first like 20 minutes are genuinely, I was laughing like hysterically. Like I feel like I don't laugh very hard in the cinema. Like I was like
with the movie or at the movie? At the movie.
It was extreme Jared Leto Joker core, I think I referred to it. Yeah, because when she becomes possessed by the spirit of Mary Shelley, she starts like Jim Carrey maxing. She starts like doing all kinds of like...
She starts becoming a clone.
She does all these like weird mannerisms or whatever. And it was very funny. And Christian Bale's like... His performance was also pretty funny for a bit. And then I kind of grew into like actually respecting the fact that it was so weird and stupid. Yeah. Like I was like, I kind of fuck with this.
So it lent into that kind of like vibe heavily.
Yeah, but then it just became, I don't know, then it sort of like petered out towards the end and became like less interesting. So I think if it had sort of like stayed committed to the stupidity,
then it would have
gone harder.
Okay.
But it like...
Do you think people would have enjoyed it more if it had committed to that? Or...
Yeah, I don't know. But I liked it more than I guess some people just because I respect what they were doing. But I couldn't in good conscience recommend it. Okay. I don't think.
Full of non-recommendations here. Things we've been watching some terrible stuff lately.
Couple weeks. But before we get to Project Hail Mary, I did think we could briefly just touch on Night of the Seven Kingdoms. TV. Because, by the way, we said we were going to talk about Wonder Man, but I feel like we talked about it in the superhero TV show thing. So
we did. Yeah.
Don't really have much else to say about it.
Yeah, I did. I finished Wonder Man yesterday, actually, just quickly.
Okay. Sure.
And very enjoyable. But did you then see, I think it was maybe yesterday, just maybe we could talk about this since it's a news episode, that I believe yesterday it was renewed for season 2. I just saw the headlines. Wonder Man, like 12 minutes ago, renewed for season 2.
Oh.
So... I'm down for that.
Very cool. Yeah, yeah. Down for a little Kingsley road trip? in real life.
That actually sounds like
Get invited.
Please, if you're listening, Kingsley, that actually sounds like the most nutty time. But yes, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. You finished it?
I did.
Thoughts?
I really liked it. I have to say,
it's fantastic.
I think we got a comment maybe from Shelf Enthusiast about like saying it was one of the best Game of Thrones things since like season 1. It's kind of like Rocky Game of Thrones style. I think might have mentioned on the show, I was not a fan of it from episode 1.
Yeah.
I like really didn't like the opening, and I kind of made up my mind. I was like, okay, I know what this is, and I don't like it. And then it won me over, which I think
I'm glad.
As someone who is, as you can tell from this podcast, quite opinionated or whatever, I feel like sometimes it's hard to shake the initial fuck this movie.
The initial poo gag.
Genuinely, because it was the poo gag and also the general, it felt like it was trying really hard in that opening bit to be funny. Like the build up with the Game of Thrones theme, then cutting to him pooing. Like I was just like, this is just like kind of a lame thing. And I thought the whole thing was going to be like that.
Yeah. And
then it won me over where I thought it was genuinely pretty funny.
Yeah.
It was very well made action wise. I liked the characters and the acting. And I liked the contained nature of it.
Exactly.
Like it's like its own little fairy tale.
It's all because it does feel like it is in the Game of Thrones universe, but because it's just such smaller scale and it doesn't feel like the entire, it's not something that is impacted a lot by everything else that's going on. As you say, self-contained, and because of that, it also gets this more kind of like down to earth and gritty feeling that I think is a fun new kind of like angle of the world of Westeros.
Yeah, totally. I think there was because it is, elevated in its comedic way where it's a bit silly, but it feels more like you're dropped into this world. Like in Game of Thrones, you're with the big players the entire time. And here you do just kind of get to be like a civilian, which is a lot of fun. And I think Dunk,
so charming.
pretty fun character. Again, that was like a bit at the start where I was like, I'm gonna fucking hate this guy. Like I'm already sick of his bit.
Yeah.
And then he won me over.
But then he's actually the cutest guy.
He's very wholesome.
And he's also kind of badass, but he's very wholesome. The dynamic between Dunk and Egg.
Yeah, it's very
very
fun.
Cute. Like I don't know if you've seen some of the interviews they've done, because they did a lot of behind the scenes and extras and stuff like that they put out. They seem to have such a cute dynamic in real life as well.
Yeah, I mean I saw like the blooper reel and that kind of stuff. Yeah, no, it was a fun, and again, I think it's like impressive, I guess, in that immediately I thought, okay, we've seen The Last of Us, Logan, we've seen character with young kid dynamic where they go on an adventure.
Yeah.
But it was still like fun and charming, and I was genuinely surprised by the twist, spoiler alert, when Egg is Targaryen. And I liked the whole I don't know, again, I guess simplicity sounds sort of reductive, but like the simplicity of it all. It was like I liked it was just like sort of it's all in this one little tournament.
One little tournament. It didn't try to do too much, I don't think. Like the fact that it was only like 30-minute episodes, just little six episode thing.
I loved the 30-minute. I was like, thank you. Like I don't need a fucking 55-minute episode.
Exactly. It was very digestible, I think.
Yes, yeah.
It almost became a little bit of a comfort show. Like I know some like bad shit goes down, but I thought like just being put into this world, I was like, I could sit and watch this forever. But at the same time, I'm happy that it was so like contained in like only those 6 episodes, because then it was like pure quality.
Yeah, and
go on.
I can see like future seasons being like fun. I don't know, like I'm not saying they have to necessarily like stop at a tournament every season, but like you go on the road and then you meet like sort of a new gang of fun characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I can see that.
And I do think that's hopefully what's going to happen, because it is these like they're taken from these like I think just like 100-page novellas, and where it just is kind of like these little side quests and fun adventures they go on. So I do think that it's going to like maybe it's going to develop and like increase a little bit in scale, like the more like famous he becomes, I guess. But in general, it is just like I think that's the general vibe of the show, which I really enjoy. Yeah,
and I really liked obviously everyone loved the episode 5, the big battle episode. That was like. Yeah, just, again, for a show that I thought was kind of good, like, spin-off HBO, a new show, whatever. It was, like, one of the best Game of Thrones battles. So like, the way it put you in... I feel like, honestly, shows and movies don't do this enough. I think Creed is one movie that does this, where, like, if you've ever, not that I've been in a tourney per se, but like,
But not that I haven't either.
but if you've ever like competed in something, like in a tournament or in a competition or something, like the nerves you get and that like when you're walking out to whatever, like I feel like Creed captures that well of like walking out in the boxing match and like you feel the thing, and I feel like putting you in that, it really felt like the adrenaline of like, holy fuck, like this isn't like a show or a game, like I'm in this metal helmet and I'm here on this horse, and then you just get the fucking shit beat out of him, like
he gets completely demolished. Did you like the shot where it kind of goes from like behind his back and then into the helmet?
Yeah,
that was very cool. I thought.
I thought it was. I will say, like I was at one point in the episode, I was like, if he survives this, I'm gonna have some problems with it because he's been like brutally maimed, but it is what it is.
There is a lance through his stomach currently.
I also have to say, unfortunately, I have had like a little bit like House of the Dragon. I have had it basically spoiled for me since it's like so I know like how it ends with them. But I did think it was. I watched there was a little thing that came up on YouTube of like every reference to Night of the Seven Kingdoms in Game of Thrones. I thought it was fun that like in one of the first episodes, Joffrey is like looking at a book. He's like, Sir Duncan the Tall.
4 pages for Duncan.
Yeah. Very, very charming show.
Are you a fan of Lionel Baratheon?
I guess kind of reminded me of you a little bit, I have to say.
I'll take that as a humongous compliment. I thought he was genuinely so delightful and nutty.
Yeah. No, he was fun. I mean, yeah, I can see the comfort show aspect of it. They're out in a tavern having some drinks. Very good show.
Very good show.
You won me over.
Huge recommendation.
There was one. No, to be fair, they did go back to the big music builds up and then someone farts gag, and I was like, come on now.
When he's doing the speech and then the guy stands up,
like that. That's it only did it. Not that I have a problem with fart jokes. I'm a big fan.
I'm a huge fan of them.
But it's like just the obviousness. There was actually one moment though when when he's like basically dead and he stands up again, and I was like, I swear to God, are they gonna do a joke where like he stands up and then he shits himself or something?
Gonna poo right now.
Which in a weird way would have been pretty funny.
Yeah.
The third time would have been the charm, but I appreciate that they didn't do it.
But can I just say, I do think that in a weird way, like I can appreciate you saying that some of these fart and poo jokes are a little too much. But at the same time, I do think that the show also, it knows when to do them. I think.
I disagree. I think the 2 times it did it was like really. And again, I'm not like, ew, gross, fart joke. I just thought it was like a lame, like it's episode 1. I just feel like there were a bunch of jokes up front that were like, and the guy spits, and that's gross, that's funny, whatever. But like as it went, I think it got more clever, and also as I guess you got more accustomed to the world, it was more funny when whatever character gets his dick out or whatever, whatever happens.
Whenever you see that big schlong, it was.
Well, he was packing heat.
Yeah, so Arlen of Penis Tree.
Penis Tree, yeah, carried that between his legs, I guess. But
it's true.
Good show,
Great show.
With that all said, should we talk a little bit about the main movie of the hour?
We're going back to warming?
Yeah, let's do a frame-by-frame analysis of The Bride. No, let's talk about Project Hail Mary.
The latest Goose.
Lil Goose, Lil Alien.
Little Goose, Little Alien album cover.
Yeah, we saw this together.
Yeah,
This
a Woody
was a
movie.
Woody experience. A little lunch Woody.
Exactly.
Went kind of crazy, not gonna lie.
Went certifiably nutty.
Really good burgers. Anyway, just reminiscing. That was actually a good burger, though.
Such a good burger.
Fucking
And
hell.
for the price as
It
well.
was the cheapest one as well. Anyway,
God.
we'll talk about that on our burger podcast. But
The poorly planned burger. Ooh, the
write that down.
the burger podcast.
The burger podcast. Pizza movie type moment. Anyway, Project Hail Mary. What'd you think?
I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I think I got exactly, like, I didn't have the most high expectations, so I wasn't disappointed, but I did think there were points of the movie that I thought could be cut down a little bit. There was, I think I saw on the BHL2 review as well, it's like, there's not a whole lot that actually, like, goes wrong, I don't think. Or, like, I don't think, I wasn't sitting there, like, at the edge of my seat a lot of the time. Which I didn't mind, though. It was, like, just a nice, comfortable, fun movie.
Yes.
And I'm totally there for that. A fun space movie? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is definitely, it works because it's both Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who I think are like fun and clever writers, and the Goose Gosling.
Very
who's very
charismatic.
charming, very charismatic. Because, yeah, I think on positives, I just think it's a well-made, well-constructed movie. It's very like accessible.
Yeah.
It had like a huge opening weekend. I can see why. Like it's a movie you can recommend pretty much to anyone to go see.
Exactly.
And I think it's visually pretty great.
It is a beautiful movie.
And that's the thing. Also, it's like it's worth seeing in the cinema on a big screen. I'm not trying to
we
run
watched
promo.
we watched it in Supreme as well.
We watched it the Supreme. Have we ever talked about the Supreme Cinema?
I don't know.
Can we real quick?
Yeah.
Just sidebar. The Supreme Cinema. It's this. It used to be just the biggest hall in this cinema we go to. No doxing, whatever. You can find it probably. But then
Just the word Supreme, you'll know.
Yeah, around like 2016, I think they renovated it and they made it to the Supreme Cinema. And I was like, what the fuck does this mean?
There's like new soundscape, new lights and everything like that.
And so what they've done is before the movie. I mean, it's just it's a lovely big screen. It's a big cinema. But before the movie, they do this like schizophrenic light show.
Yeah, with like planets exploding.
There's like planets on the screen, and then when the planets explode, like lights around you of different colors illuminate.
And it kind of like goes through the cinema, kind of like
like spotlights like wash over you. And I remember the first back in like I can't remember what the first movie was. It might have been like Captain America or something back in the day. But I was like, wait a minute, is this like a thing in the movie where like every time there's a light, it's like 4D, like they're gonna like shine these lights, but they're not. They don't.
They just don't. And I don't really understand.
It's so funny.
It's very funny. It's like, go watch it in Supreme. I don't know, maybe the sound is better, but other than that, it's just a big screen.
Yeah, and I'm happy. I don't want lights flashing.
No,
whatever,
exactly.
But I find it so funny how extra this opening is. It's like Supreme, and like planets exploding, and then it's just a cinema. Yes, exactly. Just a really big screen. It's not even IMAX or anything, but it's a lovely. I do love going in there. It
is a fantastic, and honestly, I like that opening thing.
No, I have such
it's so much fun.
Fondness for it now. Yeah, it's been 10 years of me like getting fucking like I don't know flashbanged by the Supreme opening. But yeah, it's the perfect place to see Project Hail Mary. So you should only see it in this
only go watch the
specific
Supreme cinema.
But no, visually, the colors and the big shots, and also I just think like visually, like the gags, like especially at the start, it does a lot of sort of I think I call it like silent movie-esque, where Gosling's running on the ship, and there's a lot of like him like poking his head into various things.
Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I think they have Phil Lord and Chris Miller. They just have like great comedic sensibilities in general. And him and the alien, him and Rocky.
Very nice, fun dynamic.
Charming dynamic.
Super wholesome.
Sort of like Dunk and Egg, where I'm like, we've seen like fun buddy team up, whatever, but when it's done well.
I haven't seen Goose with a rock before.
It's an innovative experience. When it's done well, it's good.
Exactly.
Like we have a best buddy dynamic, award in our end of year show.
That's definitely a nominee.
This would be up there.
Who knows?
Who knows? I don't know if it would win. We do have. What do we have coming up?
We do have T-Hoo coming up, I guess.
We do have, Dwayne and the concept of T-hooing as a buddy dynamic.
The concept of T-hooing.
But yeah, very charming together.
So charming. What do you think of the kind of like back and forth, like, from being on Earth and then into space, and how that kind of like throughout the entire movie kind of cuts back and forth?
I liked it. I think honestly, it's like my only complaint with that is marketing related, and there's not really much you can do about it.
Exactly. How it just kind of revealed most of what was going on.
Yeah, and I guess I sympathize for the guys making the trailer, because you sort of have to include him on Earth to explain it, but then you've kind of seen like a lot of the later bits of the movie in the flashbacks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly. I hate in movies when there's like forced conflict between friends of like they like misunderstand or someone's lying. So I'm glad we didn't get that. But there is just like, I think there is just sort of like a lack of drama in a lot of the film.
It is, yeah. And
which
like,
is fine.
Weirdly, it makes it like it. This is a criminal comparison.
Oh boy.
But in terms of lack of conflict, and I know there's a bit more conflict, but it feels kind of Grown Ups 2-esque in that I'm just watching and I'm just having a good time. I mean, not at all comparing the movie's quality, because Grown Ups 2 is goated.
Obviously, yeah. Grown Ups 2 is more visually stunning.
Exactly. The writing of Grown Ups 2 is peak. But I'm just saying, like, I had a similar feeling.
Okay.
In just terms of sitting back and enjoying myself.
First of all, Grown Ups 2 did not have a script. I think we can agree on that.
Second
of all, I think a good way of, a good connection there is that, like, it is kind of a hangout movie, weirdly, which is like, with some drama. I think if you go in with that expectation more, then it'll be like quite exciting, because there are dramatic big moments in action and, character decisions. But in general, like, it is kind of like just a hangout movie. And of people who I want to hang out with, I think Ryan Gosling, written and directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Exactly. One of the better hangouts you can have.
And Rocky. I'd hang out with Rocky.
And Rocky, yeah. No, I like Rocky, yeah. I don't know. I guess it is just like, it's not, I don't have a problem with with the adorable alien
You
creature.
sound like you have a problem with Rocky.
I wanted him to die in that scene, and he saved him. That was
God,
really
when
disappointing.
I found out that when I saw he put his hand on the little glass thing,
Yeah, it's
I
nice.
booed in the cinema.
But like, I guess it's just, I don't know. I guess this can just be a complaint with film in
Please,
general that
please.
you've seen it all. But I mean, you've seen the guy with the cute little, the Mandalorian Grogu, the whatever.
You
Star
think
Wars.
you think Rocky is kind of Grogu coded?
I don't know. He's just sort of like the Iron Giant, the fun kind of vaguely simple-minded like sidekick character, goofy, cute alien.
Yeah.
But it's still good. I liked Sandra Huller in her
She was good?
little bit. She was great as like sort of. I liked what's his name, the bear guy,
Do you like Carl?
Carl, my goat Carl.
My goat Carl. He was very
He went to Copenhagen in the bear that one season.
Exactly. He went to that bakery. It was delightful.
What a king.
I really like the stuff on Earth where him and Carl are kind of teaming up and building the boxes and stuff.
Yes, yeah.
Again, just kind of good vibes.
Honestly, I would take a him and Carl team up movie.
Ooh.
To be quite frank.
To be is that a sequel?
To be quite Carl.
To be quite Carl. to be Carl with you. I didn't fuck with that.
I honestly like problem I have with it. I think just lends itself to this is that like I don't have a ton to say about it.
Yeah,
Like, it was pretty fun.
It was pretty fun. It was pretty charming. Again, visually, okay. What do we think about how it depicted space and how the whole space vibe was?
I thought it was great, and especially coming off of like something like Interstellar. I do really. I watched it recently. I think it was impressive that like it has like a much more fun. It's not like going for like ultra realism, but it has still like the shots of the stars and stuff. There's a bit where if you've seen the film, like Rocky when he first meets Rocky's ship and they're like chasing each other around, which was one of my favorite bits. That was really funny.
Yeah.
It looks fucking great. It does look.
It looks amazing, but as you say, it does take away a little bit of some of the horror of being in space, which I think would have maybe not worked as well in this movie because it's such a feel-good vibe. So I think like if they tried to do it like in the Gravity way, it's like it wouldn't have been as good.
No, yeah, you don't get any sort of like tension really of like
he's literally just out just chilling in space.
Yeah, but that's this is that kind of movie which I appreciate. Yeah, I think it's a great cinema movie. I saw someone on Letterboxd who were like a good time at the movies, and like that is like this is the kind of movie that we should have all the time. I honestly not to do like a whole cinema's dying whatever, but it's like, and also not to be like don't like this movie as much as you want to or whatever. But it's like I think sometimes with movies, because we get so much Moana-esque dookie,
so much Tiu in the world.
there is like a little bit of a lower bar where like I thought this was Sinners last year, where Sinners is great. I think you should get like a bunch of Sinners a year.
Exactly.
Like the fact that Sinners was like top 3 movies of the year, not a bad thing, but it's like Project Hail Mary. I'm not saying everything was perfect in the 80s or whatever, but like this is the kind of movie we should just like, oh, that was like a movie. That's a movie you go see in the cinema. I think even Gosling had a quote where he was like, it's not, the fans' job to keep cinemas alive. It's our job to make movies that get people into cinemas. And this is a perfect, like, what a movie should be like when you go to the cinema. And I don't think it's like
I fully agree.
Mind-blowing. It's just good.
Do you think
very good.
Do you think so? Now we have the thing of saying it's very good right now, and just touching on that. If you think that we put, and what are you giving this, a 4-star?
I would say it's a slightly generous 4, but I would go 4.
I think I agree. If we put this back 15 years, obviously, CGI would be better here than it would be 15 years ago or something like that. But like, do you think that would still stand? Or would you be like, this is more run-of-the-mill?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, am I also 15 years younger? Because I don't know. I liked The Martian back then quite a bit more than I do now. So I was more easily impressed.
You're you now.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I was easily impressed. There's been so much The Martian hate on this pod lately.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty good movie. But I think it would still stand. I think it would be like less sort of like event. I guess also maybe it's just like the culture of like, and also I'm a fucking, nerd on Letterboxd where like, because every time a new movie comes out on Letterboxd, it's like spammed with 5 stars and it enters. This discourse is so fucking tedious because people are like, Project Hail Mary is in the top 250 movies. It's not better than, Ingmar Bergman. It's like, yeah, that happens every time a movie comes out and then it inevitably drops out of the top.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that deep. But I don't even know about like 15 years ago, but I'm just saying like, I think about sometimes my mom will mention of, when she went to see like Star Wars in the cinema and Indiana Jones in the cinema. It's like if you look at like the summer of, 1984 or something, it's like you're just getting like
You're getting
Ghostbusters and
bam,
whatever,
bam,
like just like hood classics all over the place. And I think this would be like
Ghostbusters hood classic.
I actually don't even like Ghostbusters, but like you're getting, I think my point being, this would be like in place in that, which is like in a very good lineup. I think maybe we think of it as like, again, when it comes out, it's a top 100 movie of all time because, life is terrible or whatever. We get the Moana movie.
Exactly. We got Tihu going on. But like, I mean, I will say, I fully agree, but I don't think of this as like a top 250 movie or anything like that. So people who do, maybe check yourself.
Maybe stop listening.
Don't do that.
Touch grass. No, but very wholesome movie. Yeah. I liked. I'm gonna say 4 stars.
I agree. I also gave it a 4 stars. Did you see my my Letterboxd review?
Let me see.
Thought you might enjoy.
Gooseling getting his Rockies off.
So
report this review. Share to Instagram stories.
All in one. But yeah, I think a 4 star is a very fine rating.
I agree. With also that said, that's the news and the ketchup reviews. The ketchup reviews. Ooh. Ketchup on that burger that was really good and cheap.
God, cheap and great.
Shout out the Halifax Urban Hound Burger.
Oh
man, is it good?
Man, does that shit slap?
God. Anyway,
I actually want one right now.
I kind of do too. I had a very small breakfast.
I'm a very hungry boy. So.
Anyway, with all that said, it's now time for the Tom Cnews. Sorry, I went a little extra.
What a little Bruce Buffer there.
I was gonna say,
and in the right corner.
I did kind of T-Who Max slightly there.
Don't ever T-Who Max.
Well, we have some good Tom Cnews sort of up-to-date stuff. This was sent in by... I mean, I've seen this rumor elsewhere, but this was sent in by someone.
Okay.
By Declan, who also sent in a photo of The Rock from the Moana trailer and just captioned it, "Yeah, that happens," which I believe is a reference to when he pissed in bottles.
Yeah, very fair.
But Declan sent this post from Film Buzzer. According to insider Daniel RPK, Tom Cruise is reportedly in talks to play the villain in Joseph Kosinski's Miami Vice movie.
Ooh.
Now, a couple of things. First of all, it's a rumor. I don't think it's been confirmed. I don't even know if the cast has been confirmed, but the talk is it's going to be Michael B. Jordan and Austin Butler. Are you familiar with Miami Vice, by the way?
Vaguely.
It's, 2 cool guys in cool jackets in Miami doing
some cop
cops
stuff
or whatever.
Yeah.
Low key, sounds incredibly fucking peak. If this happens,
that trio, that would be fantastic.
And Joseph Kosinski of Top Gun Maverick and F1.
The goated movie F1.
My favorite movie. But because
that actually
Michael B. Jordan
fantastic.
and Austin Butler is like a buddy cop in like Cool Guys in Miami. Fucking awesome.
That actually sounds like perfect casting.
And they're going up against Tom Cruise potentially. Miami like mob boss or something like that.
A Cruise
Collateral-esque.
I was gonna say a Cruise villain. I don't remember the last Cruise villain before Collateral.
Yeah.
Or since Collateral.
Maybe the movie Digger, perhaps. But
almost certainly the movie Digger.
But man, if this happens,
that weirdly got me incredibly hyped.
This could be
what the hell?
hyped,
that could be so awesome.
Because I'm like, I've not watched the show or the movie Miami Vice, but like I'm aware of it in pop culture, and I love the music, the like synthy. You know it if you heard it, the synth music. I don't know, man. That sounds fucking pretty.
That sounds peak.
Sounds pretty fucking awesome. So if that happens,
that actually sounds
if Cruise gets on board,
so much fun.
Also, there is a rumor. I don't remember the exact like numbers, but there was something about how Michael B. Jordan, apparently rumored, has not like actually signed on, and since he won the Oscar, he's like upped his price tag.
Oh, really?
I think it was something. I think what he's asking for now is like 18 million.
18 million?
And before it was like 8 million or something. I don't know the exact numbers.
Michael B, let's touch some grass as well. You won because Timothy was a douchebag.
Yeah, you kind of.
Let's be honest.
I mean, I don't know.
Does that give you 10 million? I think not.
Do you think it's fair? You don't think it's fair? Because all the comments are like, get that bread, Michael B.
Over doubling his
I mean, I don't remember the exact numbers.
Okay,
and it's a rumor and everything. But
yeah.
You don't think so?
I think it can come with a little bit of a pay raise, but I think that it also, I think, then kind of maybe gives you a little bit of an air of arrogance if you think that just because you've won an Oscar, you're suddenly worth a lot more.
Okay,
I don't know, like, I think I agree that a slight pay raise is fair and asking for a bit more. But I think if, and again, maybe not the exact number, but like if it's the case that he's asked for double, I think that's crazy.
Interesting. Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't think any human being should make $18 million for acting in a movie.
Also true.
Unless I eventually make the film industry and somehow they want to give me...
I become an actor and
that or more
then give
than-
me 50.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Also,
which I think is kind of funny when people are like, give him the 18 million. It's like, I don't know, maybe give that to like, not to be that guy, but like,
There's
maybe better.
Maybe give that to
things.
Josh Gad. Huh?
Yeah, maybe there's like more deserving actors like Dwayne Johnson.
Maybe give that to me. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't really
also,
give a
like
shit.
I think it also depends on
His role.
his role and the movie and stuff like that. Like wanting 18 million for the Miami Vice movie. Like this is supposed to be a fun, feel good.
I think it'd be a pretty big. I mean, Top
think
Gun Maverick was like the biggest movie of that year, and
Okay.
not F1 did. F1 was the best picture contender.
Yeah, I guess it's one of the
I think
movies of the
it'll
year.
be. I guess it's coming out probably 27, 28. It'll be like one of the biggest movies of that year. I think.
But 18 million, or at
think-
least for me, it's not the 18 million.
Okay.
I think the 18 million is
Whatever. It's
Whatever,
I mean,
but
money in
it's-
Hollywood is like intangible. Like,
exactly.
It's like
But
it's
it's the winning an Oscar and then suddenly thinking that you can
interesting.
double it.
Well-
do you think that's like fine or?
I mean, in this realm of like insane money plays, whatever. I suppose. I mean, I guess in terms of a negotiating tactic, it would be like the time to do it because like right now,
That is
maybe
true.
by the time Miami Vice comes out, maybe he's not as hot as he is, but like right now he is, like the guy.
he's yeah.
He is him at
He's-
an In-N-Out or whatever.
He is that dude.
Yeah. But yeah, good on what were you Cruise?
Yeah, this is a part. Yeah. Anyways, if this
If
happens,
Cruise is the villain, I'd
It-
love it.
this trio happens, that sounds fantastic.
I'd be
And Butler and Michael B as those two cops.
that'd be fun.
Perfect.
That'd be great. We move on now to the announcements and such segment.
My favorite monthly segment.
We're gonna look at some comments.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I just want to say real quick, just shout out to the podcast. I just feel like I just appreciate the love in the comments, and also things are people seem to be liking the shorts and the Benefit Watch the Oscars and that kind
Exactly.
of stuff. Just want to say appreciate everyone. Thank you guys.
Yes,
for,
thank you so much. It's I don't know. I've always loved the podding, right? It's been one of my favorite things for many years now. But like I find myself more so than I have before, like lately, sitting there and then just going on the pod channel, reading through the comments, like almost sometimes multiple times a day, seeing what's like what people are saying and everything like that. It just like gives me a fun like community feeling, and I love it.
Yeah, it's a
so
good
much
vibe.
fun.
As we said before, and as evidenced by the entire run of this podcast, we would do this if we had 0 listeners.
Exactly. So the fact that there's a few listeners,
Yeah,
that's huge.
The ones that we have and the community and the vibe, just always a good time. So I just want to say thank you. Anyway, so first comment says, "Fuck you, BHL. Your opinions suck. Kill yourself." No, we have. First of all, Lucas says, "Peak as always, boys." Thank you, Lucas.
Thank you,
Shout out.
Lucas.
We do have a hate comment from Cal W, notorious hater.
Hate spreader.
He says, "Not to be BHL's resident letterboxed stalker, but 2 stars for Coda and 3.5 for Shakespeare in Love is criminal. Whatever bro is cooking, it must be stinky."
Actual
To which, to which ZJ responds, "Loki BHL has been doing the opposite of cooking with some of his letterboxed ratings." Now, I will say,
I will say, get banned, little bro.
not that I'm ever gonna back down from an opinion, but I will just say, in my defense,
Yes.
I have altered these, not because of reading this, but
I read this and I changed to 5 stars for both of them.
and I deleted my letterbox. I have altered these ratings, right? I put
Okay.
Coda up to 2.5, and I put Shakespeare in Love down to 3. But I will say, and you can watch my best picture video rank, whatever. Coda stinky. Coda a stinky movie, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Not a best picture winner, kind of a joke of a movie. If you like it, no. and Shakespeare in Love, kind of fun. I know it's fucking stupid and it's like it's super goofy and Ben Affleck's there, whatever. But like it's kind of a fun movie.
God, Ben Affleck's there. That's automatically a 4-star at least. Interesting. So you're getting some
hate.
catching some strays here.
It is what
Or
it
not
is.
strays, direct hits.
Direct hits, yeah, no, very targeted. Royce the Prodigy says, "Bruh, we need an in-depth ranking of the Kendrick and Kanye albums on BHL2.
Yeah, let's keep it on BHL2. Reach 1,000
Where no
subs
one
in
will see
50 years for that.
Well, Royce, thank you very much.
Royce,
We'll
no,
do it
thank
right
you.
now.
We'll do it live.
And someone called FDK Gaming did respond to terrible take.
What a wise soul. Don't know who that is.
I think I cooked with my rankings as always.
Fair.
But
Again, I can't comment on the actual ranking.
because you're uncultured.
It's just the fact that there is a ranking that.
My Abraham says Poorly Planned Podcast. Go to the Poorly Planned Podcast episode 200 with a time code for some foreshadowing. I did do this, and it was we were asked about Kanye albums, and I said I don't know anything about that.
Crazy character development.
How time can
now I
change
know it all.
Josie says the past few days have been rough work-wise, and this definitely helped out with the stress. Thank you, boys. Hashtag dwork off. Now I was happy about the comment until that part.
That was a very sweet comment, and then I realized why you might be having a rough time.
Like a karmic reckoning. The universe is punishing you for this comment, but
no,
thank you. Appreciate it.
Very sorry to hear that you had a rough time, but glad
if the pod can help.
Exactly.
Connor Beer says a nearly 2. All right, well, we thought that comment was bad.
Oh,
a nearly 2-hour pod. Hole up while I dwork this shit. Hashtag Chad Maxing. Speaking of get banned, bro. Not okay.
We don't do that.
Jaden says, I don't think I've ever been more baffled by an audience reaction than I was by Wuthering Heights. After the final scene, the rest of my audience was an emotional wreck and bawling their eyes out. I just can't understand what there was to emotionally resonate to with this story and the god-awful characters and what had them turning into BHL during the Patriots Day trailer.
Yes!
First of all,
what a throwback.
Oh yeah, I genuinely couldn't tell you a single trait about either character besides that they be horny. Hashtag where was the Alordi buns? Good question.
Huge question.
Hashtag wuthering cheeks.
Nice.
In a sense, there were none though. In a very real sense.
In a sense, hashtag where the ring cheeks.
Wuthering cheek. Weathering cheeks. Very good. Marty Sapine. Hashtag misleading freakiness. Hashtag shitty people the movie.
Nice.
Now, first of all, the Patriots Day, insanely deep cut.
Throwback to like when we were like 13 or 14.
I admitted to crying during the Mark Wahlberg Patriots Day trailer, and you never let me forget it.
Never let that shit go.
And yeah, also, yeah, Wuthering Heights is buns.
Straight cheeks.
I don't understand why people were crying in your cinema. That's crazy. We were crying, but we were crying of horror of having to sit there and watch it.
Horror of watching Heathcliff do anything.
Yeah. Also, by the way, this is from the one of the pods where we talked about Bad Bunny working at the Super Bowl. Just to be clear, because I realized in non-consecutive order that could be a very confusing. Like, why are all the comments about this?
Why are we dworking?
Daniel says another really great and enjoyable episode. Keep up the dwork-esque work. I have not yet seen Marty Supreme, but really want to, and even though I'm sure it's going to be terrible, I'm still interested in Wuthering Heights. I'm one of the few people that actually really like Saltburn. Barbarian is one of those surprisingly good horror movies, and I love how the film almost tricks you into thinking it's one thing, but it's the exact opposite. The reveal of the monster is one of the scariest jump scares I've ever seen in a movie. Banger of a film. Just a fantastic episode, exactly what I needed after a 44-hour work week.
Damn.
Classic white BHL opinion.
So worried. I'm
white?
He said what now?
I guess this is reference to my Kendrick ranking.
Could be
pretty white.
Is that again? I don't know.
But anyway, I'm glad that the pod was good after a work week.
44-hour work week as well.
Yeah,
we could never.
I love being unemployed. But yeah, so I feel bad about the racial abuse though that I took there, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Average Joe says maybe the most grim Tom Cnews, but a necessary discussion nonetheless. I did go back to the pod to check what this was. It was the AI Tom Cnews.
Oh right.
Ryan says never rank music again.
I'm very happy.
Fair
this is
comment.
And
Average Joe says hashtag smashing Dwayne snubbed. He was indeed.
Damn.
He did not get that award.
Does snub not imply the fact that they
should have been? Yeah, so that's a bit questionable.
That's a crazy take as well.
On some other pods, Connor says, I think we now need an episode of dream blunt rotations with celebrities and fictional characters smoking that Neville pack. Shout out to Mr. Bucket's dogs. Again, another insane comment. You should be institutionalized. But that is a good idea. Perhaps, I mean, a pod or maybe even a pod short could go hard for the Bream Drunt location. Dream blunt rotation.
True.
And just off the top of my head, I would say, I think we dropped Gandalf in there.
We dropped Gandalf.
I think, who would be a good one? I mean, I think... I was gonna say someone, but then it would immediately lead to nightmares. Josh Gad.
Yeah, don't do
Josh
that.
Gad would cause a terrible trip.
I think Trevor Slattery.
Trevor
Slattery's on
man,
there.
that'd be huge. He is sober, but
Yeah, true.
maybe back in the day, Trevor Slattery.
Back in the day when he was the Mandarin.
Yeah, terrorist Slattery.
Terrorist Slattery.
Joe C says, whether you think Jim Carrey's a clone or not, something is definitely suspicious. Not going to think too much on it. Also, why is it that every time you guys talk about Harry Potter, it's always the funniest part of the pod? First DJ Dumbledore, and now Neville being taken by the Dementors and the teacher's not giving a shit. Pod put me in a very good mood. Hope you guys have a great week. Well, thank you, Joe C.
Thank you very much.
I have to say, considering you haven't even like really seen all of them, I really enjoy talking about Harry Potter on the pod. It's always a good time.
There's a lot of material
It's
to talk
such
about.
a fucking wacky series of films. Connor K says, I personally love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Honestly, it's one of my favorite shows. People hate on it too much. Get banned.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., one of my favorite shows.
What the fuck?
What was that?
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God, it's my fucking timer. I thought Connor was breaking into the studio. What'd you say about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., little bro? Holy shit. Why did that scare the shit out of me?
Looks so terrifying.
Because I've never heard that sound
back
before.
What the fuck? Is that your timer? I'd never let it reach 0.
I haven't. I'm one of those people. Holy shit. Anyway.
Damn.
That was disturbing. Anyway, almost as disturbing as this take from Connor.
But not actually nowhere near as disturbing.
Yeah, no, this is really crazy. No, I mean, fair enough. And I have a lot of love for, I have some nostalgic love for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I have no problem with this. But
slight problem.
But also get banned. No. ANH Sad Flower says, the ending of Loki Season 2 is genuinely my single favorite piece of MCU storytelling ever. Nothing else in this universe has ever made me feel that way. Feel so deeply, existentially beautiful, completely non-MCU in vibe, kind of blew me away. Okay. May not make perfect sense, but the emotional story of it absolutely hit home. In a weird way, I kind of like that it gave up trying to make perfect logical sense and just focused on resonant characters and themes. To be fair, and I will watch Loki Season 2.
Yeah.
My problem with some of the multiverse stuff has been like it's too focused on the logic and the technical stuff. I would much rather have like, even not to compare it to Twin Peaks or whatever, but something that's like you don't really have to think about like the lore of it all. It's just like the feeling it gives you.
It's all heart.
So I fuck with that. Cal W says, Batman the Animated Series will forever be my definitive visual representation of the Batman universe. The new Pattinson movies might low-key rival it though. Oh. I have to say I've been getting some reels of like Batman Animated Series like vibes. It's like the what's it called? What's that style of like architecture or like paintings? It has like a very specific word. Hold up.
Gothic.
Series. It's called like
Adam Westian?
Yeah, it's the Westian dynamic. No, Art Deco. That's what I was thinking of.
Gotcha.
That kind of style. I do love that shit. And I think it captures it so well. Just the Batman vibe. Mm-hmm. Ted Schwartz says, Freddie hates women like BHL hates old people.
Where did that come
from?
How did you discover the secret?
I assume we said something in this about a joke about you hating women, but also maybe we shouldn't have a running gag if like someone looks in the comments. We'll talk about this some other time, but you might have mentioned this in like a job interview, the podcast.
Oh yes,
and so we maybe don't want the comments filled with Freddie hates women and BHL hates the elderly. However factual they may be.
However very true that is.
Average Joe says, imagine if the Smashing Machine won for that singular nomination while Marty Supreme took nothing. I would have enjoyed that.
That would have been fantastic.
That would have been huge. Ted Schwartz says, similar in tone, skipping the first woman to win in cinematography Oscars, shaking my head.
Ted Schwartz, Ted
Schwartz is calling us out, man. Yeah. To be fair, no, I did feel very bad about that as we skipped everyone, okay?
So fucking funny. Oh, she's saying something important.
Yeah. Daniel says, 1 hour of Ben and Fred watch goodness. This is from the Oscar one, I think. Let's go. Being a massive fan of Sinners is one of my favorite films of like the past 10 years. I'm so happy when it got good awards. Goes on to say how great Sinners is and also wished it got Best Picture, which is a fair wish.
It's a fair prediction.
And it's so funny that Dwayne Johnson put all that effort and he's like, I'm going to win an Oscar for him to not even be nominated. The Smashing Machine not to be nominated for anything. Put the fries in the bag, little bro. But overall, I'm really happy with this year's awards.
Yeah, I think that's a fair
analysis.
I think that's a fair
Although
take.
Smash Machine did get the one nomination, to be fair.
That's true.
But it was not for Dwayne.
It was not, not for the Dwayne face change. Or it was for the Dwayne face change.
Yeah, it was for Dwayne not being himself. Make it that way you will.
The only Oscar nomination at all associated with Dwayne is when he doesn't look like himself.
And Fabricio says, let's go. Thank you, Fabricio.
Thank you.
A&H says, the best space movie is WALL-E. How dare y'all forget about my boy, Waste Allocation, Load Lifter, Earth Class.
I was going to agree with you, and then you actually spelt out WALL-E.
Then you did that, and
I think we did talk about that in like a...
We have an upcoming Pixar episode.
Exactly, where we didn't talk about that.
It is very good.
It's great, and that's our bad.
Yeah. JC Cinematic says, I gotta disagree with the Tarkovsky glazing. 2001 clears Solaris, in my opinion. Not even close. Get back, little bro.
I don't know what that
You daren't speak ill of my goat, Tarkovsky.
God,
now this is
nerdy conversation.
Well, because we got another Tarkovsky comment later. It was said something. Where was this? Liam Pearson says, can't wait for the best and worst of Andrei Tarkovsky. Now, I don't know if these are sarcastically joking about my nerd love of film, and they're like, yeah, little bro, can't wait for the Tarkovsky video.
Or if these guys actually like
But
Tarkovsky.
if they're actually into it, because I'm here for it, because I could talk for hours about Tarkovsky, but I got to disagree. I mean, look, I think 2001 is better than Solaris, but I think to say it's not even close. It's an L take from JC Cinematics. I'll dish it right back.
Sending that shit right back to you. How are you going to respond?
And I would love to make a best and worst of Tarkovsky. I just think Liam Pearson, if he's not being ironic here, would be the only person who'd watch it. But you never know. I will actually say real quick, just a story Tarkovsky related, but and related to our goat Lele. Actually, you know what? I'll save this as an anecdote. This is actually a pretty good story.
All right, cool.
I'll save it for some other time.
Keep you in suspense.
Average Joe says 2010, the year we made Contact, is not talked about enough. You'd think it'd be sequel swap to 2001, but it's actually pretty great. I really want to watch that.
Okay.
It's like a sequel to 2001 in some way, and I also thought that was interesting that has a sequel. I will check it out. Average Joe says watching Interstellar in IMAX at the end of 2024 was phenomenal. One of my favorite cinema experiences.
Yeah, makes sense.
I can imagine that. Cal W says Planet 51, definitely my favorite space movie. I hope BHL likes it too.
So
goodbye, sir.
Get banned again.
Nice talking to you.
Each month we ban a bunch of our subscribers. Our day one homies.
Yeah, we're down to 200 tomorrow. And Average Joe says, originally David Lynch was actually supposed to direct Return of the Jedi as chosen by Lucas. Have to say, as much as I love Lynch, glad that did not happen. Just based on Dune. And finally, speaking of Lele,
yes,
our goat, he left a comment, and I feel like, you know, because I feel like we've closed that Oscar season on the Timothy ballet thing. I feel like Lele, he gets the closing word here, because Lele, in case you don't know, our goat, big opera enjoyer,
guy.
Huge opera guy.
Okay.
So I feel like he has a big take.
Let's hear it.
Regarding the Timothée Chalamet take, as someone who regularly attends classical music performances, I'd be the first to say that there are many good arguments to be made about the comparative decline in popularity of the classical arts. It's also completely okay for Timothy or Freddie to be a fucking asshole. To not care about ballet or opera. However, no one cares about ballet or opera isn't an opinion, it's factually untrue at best. Houses in Italy, Germany, UK, France sell out tickets regularly throughout the year. Timothy would have been received very differently had he said, I don't care much for it, but his comment is that except for the 14 cents of viewership lost, no one considers these art forms worth keeping alive. Regardless of whether people in my social circle enjoy ballet or opera or not, in parentheses, I bet Freddie doesn't, he's a fat chud.
Oh, right. That's a classic Lele line.
is such an attitude to the classical arts defensible at any intellectually coherent level. The backlash from the public has been vastly inflated, and a lot of people are hating to hate. Timothy hasn't shown himself to be a particularly sympathetic or articulate character, so we can take his words at the same level of seriousness that he deserves. I'll still watch Dune 3, though. Great episode as always, guys. So I feel like there's a lot to unpack there.
I think
very succinct,
very good points.
Yeah. No.
Especially the fat chud bit.
He called you a fat chud. I think that's the most accurate. But no, yeah. I mean, I think the whole thing, we've talked about it, a bunch. I think the whole thing is like, it's how he said it. Yeah. It's what he said about it. And I don't think there's a problem with not enjoying those things.
Exactly.
I think, honestly, the worst part of it all of it was the 14 cents of viewership bit. That was just like the dick way. The
exactly. That was
thing you could say.
Well, exactly. It was his whole approach to it. Because, yeah, saying it or not, like, he shouldn't say it. You can have the view, but yeah. I don't know.
But
Timothy, you don't need to be doing all that in a cocky douchey way.
With McConaughey as well.
With McConaughey? How did McConaughey react to him saying that, by the way? Did he just kind of like laugh nervously, or what was?
No, he was just sort of like, yeah. He was just sort of, maybe he was high, I don't know. He was completely spaced out.
Hadn't heard a word for the last 20 minutes.
But yeah, thank you, Lele. We appreciate it.
Huge comment. Love it.
Well, that is the pod for this week. An up-to-date pod.
Ooh.
Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like, subscribe. What did you think of Project Hail Mary and other things we talked about? Let us know down below in the comments. If you're on YouTube, otherwise we're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, the Poorly Planned Podcast. If you're there, leave a 5-star rating and nice review. You can check out my YouTube channels, BHL Hudson and BHL2. It's epic. Subscribe. You can check out my Instagram.
That's the full name.
BHL_Hudson and my letterboxd real BHL Hudson. And you can email the pod at bhlhudsonvids@gmail.com.
Ooh, you can also find the podcast on Instagram and TikTok at The Poorly Planned Podcast. You can find me on YouTube at FDK Space Gaming. You can find me on Instagram at Fidalgard and on Letterboxd at FDK_Films.
Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Tee-hoo!
Sure.
Anyways.
Sure.
I'll give you one.